And coming to you live from Camilla Aklan in Numancia, Aklan in the Philippines. I just dropped off Leanna at school. I have to get her there around 7. We normally leave the house at 7. Her school, Numancia Integrated School, it's about a kilometer away, if that. A lot of kids here, they just walk to school. But I like taking Leanna to school because the road going from Camilla Aklan to Numancia Integrated School, they don't have sidewalks, so I don't feel comfortable, Leanna, walking on the road. It's like I'm just trying to be protective, And then when I take her, there's area there along the highway. Their school is actually along the highway, the Aklan National Highway. So there's a pedestrian lane. It's striped. It's a striped pedestrian lane. There's actually a crossing guard there also. But the cars on the highway, they just don't slow down, especially motorcycles. They'll even dodge the kids, while the kids are crossing on the pedestrian. It is what it is. It's kind of frustrating when you see that sometimes because they're just not careful here, in the province regarding school zones. They have signs that it says it's a school zone, but nobody slows down here in the school zone, especially if it's along the national highway. Cars just zoom by, zoom by the school zones here. All right. Good morning, Mr. Weatherman. All right. Oh, Mr. I don't want to disappoint you, Vegas Will, so I have to do the weather report this morning. I have to do the weather report. Today, as of 3 a.m. This morning, there is a tropical depression inside the Philippine area of responsibility. So it's called Tropical Depression Bising, Bising. It is in the Cagayan area, the Batanes area, Ilocos Norte, up in Pagudpod area, Babuyan Islands, northern tip of Luzon. That's where most of the weather conditions in the Philippines, that's where they normally hit. Northern Luzon, they get hammered every year. In Ilocos Norte and Babuyan Islands, rains with gusty winds caused by Tropical Depression Bising. Possible flooding or landslides due to heavy rains. And then, same area like the Kalinga, Abra, Apayao, Batanes, and Cagayan. Same thing, Tropical Depression Bising is affecting that area. So that's the second one now for the Philippines for 2025 as far as cyclones, tropical depression, storms, and typhoon. Tropical Depression Bising. And then in Metro Manila, lots of rain in Metro Manila. Actually, I had another announcement regarding that, Tropical Depression Bising. It is actually suspending classes in a lot of schools in Luzon. The Philippines is divided into 3 big groups of island, Luzon being the northern part of the Philippines, and then the middle part of the Philippines, Visayas Island, which we're in, Aklan Province, Panay Island. We belong to Western Visayas or the Visayan region, and then Mindanao. Most of the weather today is in the Luzon area of the Philippines. That's why here, I took Leanna to school this morning. There's no rain. It's like bright and sunny. I actually have to put the blinds down because it's so bright and sunny here in our area. No rain at all in our area. But in the class suspension in Luzon, there's no school today due to inclement weather in Luzon. And here's just some of the lists where there are no school. July 4th here. Happy, here in the Philippines is called the Philippines American Friendship Day. It's not called Independence Day here. It's called the Friendship Day between the Philippines and America, because Philippines and America, they've always had a good relationship, always been allies since World War II. In Imos, Cavite, my friend Michael and Rose in Trece Martires, there no school. It says here, all levels, public and private, no school in Imos, Cavite, Pangasinan, Pampanga, and then Bataan. So most of Luzon looks like no school today because inclement weather in the Luzon region of the Philippines. And I'm gonna just discuss what the difference is, because people might not know what a tropical depression, this weather event, it's called Tropical Depression Bising. It says here, a tropical depression is a type of tropical cyclone with maximum sustained winds of 38 miles per hour, 62 kilometers per hour. It's the weakest stage of a tropical cyclone and is characterized by low pressure area accompanied by thunderstorms and rain. While not as intense as a tropical storm or a hurricane, tropical depression can still produce heavy rainfall and localized flooding. And that is common. Like I know in the Metro Manila area, like I said yesterday on the live stream, when I was going to school in Letran College in Manila, I used to travel from Quezon City, our house in Quezon City, to Manila. It took me about 45 minutes to an hour riding the jeepney on my elementary school grades. España, that area where my route to go to school, España, it is always flooded there. So I can imagine now with all the inclement weather, all the rain, it's gonna be flooded in that area. That's part of the reason why they don't hold school during inclement weather, because hard for people, hard for kids to go to school. You know, you got your leather shoes will get wet, your uniform will get wet. You know, it's just not a good idea. I'm glad they suspended school there. But here, like I said, here in our province of Aklan, Western Visayas, man, it is bright. I mean, it's like bright and sunny. No rain at all here in Visayas region. JB, hey JB, my good friend in Sydney, Australia. Hello. Good morning, JB. Dazzle still awake. She actually stayed up late last night because she was. They did Mom and Dazzle filmed their cooking video yesterday, and Dazzle was having a hard time. She was trying to edit it using, I think, Canva, one of the apps that she uses. We usually edit our videos at Shortcut, but she filmed the video on her iPhone and then she was just trying to edit it, but it wouldn't save. She was having a hard time saving it. I know it kind of frustrated her. Dazzle is kind of like a perfectionist. That's why I told her, try not to stress too much about editing the video. That's why I told her we're going to just show it to the members. It's not going to be shown to the public where you'll get criticized by your video. So, but she's such a perfectionist. She wants everything correct. Me, man, as you can see on the video, sometimes, when I film the video, sometimes I mumble, sometimes there's errors. I just press on, man. I'm not gonna waste a lot of time on editing the videos because I just want to get the information out there. The scenery is the most that I film. It's like I just want to show people the beaches, the mountains, the views. It's little that if I had some input, like some things that I talk about, it's not a big deal if I say some words wrong, if I describe it wrong, man. It gets stressful when you start doing that on YouTube. It's like, to me, the mistakes and all that is just part of it. It's like, you can't be trying to make a perfect video. It's gonna get the same amount of views. I told that, but Dazzle is such a perfectionist. But it turned out well. I watched the video this morning. I haven't uploaded it because Dazzle hadn't made a thumbnail. Plus, I'm not sure whether it passes Dazzle's that she's ready to go on the video. But it turned out well. I thought it turned out well. Her first cooking video turned out very well. Hey, Vegas Will. All right, Ray. All present and accounted for, my brother. All right. I always make fun, man. I always tell Dazzle, like, all present, all accounted for. I always tell that to Dazzle. Report, Sergeant Anton reports ordered. I always tell that to Dazzle. She always cracks up when I do that to her. Having my Copico Blanca, my 3-in-1 coffee here in the Philippines. 3-in-1 coffee. Again, it's coffee, sugar, and cream mixture. Very popular in the Philippines. Just about everybody I know here drinks 3-in-1 coffee because it's so easy to make. You just put it in your cup, put hot water in your cup, and you got a cup of coffee. 7-8 pesos each at the sari-sari store. So it's like you can even drink it at the sari-sari store. I've noticed the sari-sari store here outside Camellia. They have a thermos there, and you can just buy one of these, and they got cups in there. A lot of the tricycle drivers, you see them having their cup of coffee at the sari-sari store. Sari-sari store is kind of like all around, got everything in it. They got veggies in there, they got eggs in there. In the evening time, they got barbecue in there. The sari-sari stores here are awesome. They haven't, the 7-Eleven opened right beside the sari-sari store, but it's a different clientele, because the 7-Eleven, it's more expensive, like Copico Blanca, I can go to sari-sari store for like $8 to $9 and 9 pesos. At, the French vanilla brewed coffee is 58, so big difference in price, as far as coffee. So I don't think the sari-sari stores will ever close, they'll have business. They sell rice at the sari-sari store. They sell Filipino snacks and Filipino, even in the afternoon sometimes they'll have like turon, they'll have kamote Q, that fried sweet potato with brown sugar, banana Q, that plantain fried bananas in a stick. I don't think 7-Eleven will ever sell that. 7-Eleven, they sell like Mr. Donut. They have their own siopao, the coffee, the brewed coffee. Their drinks are, like cucumber lemonade, iced coffee. Those kind of things is what they sell at 7-Eleven. So it's nice to have the variety now. They actually even opened it's actually expanding now, because when 7-Eleven opened, I noticed there's right next door. I'll have to film it the next time I go. They opened a lugao. Lugao is like rice porridge, like rice with chicken, egg, and then bok choy. Bok choy is like noodles. So right beside 7-Eleven, they opened like a lugao, bok choy, the sari-sari store. So they're expanding that outside area there. So now when we walk outside of Camellia, there's places for us to eat, get snacks, get merienda in the afternoon, which is nice. All right. My good friend Ray in Sacramento, California. That is awesome, man. I have not seen a commissary. The last time I saw a commissary was 2018. Dazzle and I went to Singapore, and we went to the Sembawang Naval Base in Singapore. Had a commissary and had a BX. We actually bought like a suitcase at the BX, because when we flew to Singapore, all we had was our backpack. I had a backpack, Dazzle had a backpack. But we knew once we got to Singapore, we were going to do shopping for pasalubong, like gifts to people in the Philippines. And then when we hit the commissary and BX, we bought a suitcase, and we filled the suitcase with like chocolates from America, different product. You got some Kraft macaroni and cheese, just different things. that we shopped at the commissary. But that was the last time. Last time I saw a commissary or a BX was 2018, 7 years ago now, at the Sembawang Naval Base in Singapore. No commissary or no BX here in the Philippines. Unfortunately, they don't have any of that here. The closest thing we have here for American goods is, of course, SNR. SNR in Iloilo City. We travel there. We go there, at least every 2-3 months we go there. We hit SNR. And then they have duty free here, like when you land in the Philippines, Manila Airport. I know they have somewhere in Manila, sometimes at the airport itself, they have a duty free section. So you can buy like liquor, cigarettes, chocolates without the duty tax. Because here in the Philippines, they have a 17% duty tax, like a tariff on American goods. When you fly in, there's a 17% tariff on American goods here. Vegas Will, hey GB, all right. Lucita, my good friend in Maine, all right. Happy 4th of July, happy 4th of July. I'm wearing my shirt, my red, white, and blue, with the jets flying. I'm wearing it for 4th of July here in the Philippines. They actually have a different name here for it. They call it Philippines American Friendship Day here in the Philippines. That changed because after World War II, July 4, 1946, that was the original Independence Day here in the Philippines. After World War II, that was the independence from Japanese occupation here in the Philippines. And then in the 60s, President Macapagal, Diosdado Macapagal, he switched it. The Philippine Independence Day now is June 12th. We just had that last month. So they named July 4th here in the Philippines as American Philippines Friendship Day. So that's, I don't know if they're going to have festivities normally they have a festivities for that in Luneta Park in Manila. That's where a lot of celebration like that happens. But I don't know, with the inclement weather, without the no school, I don't know if they're going to have any festivities there in Manila for that today. Maddie's Vlogs. All right. Thank you, Maddie's Vlogs, for joining the live stream. Vegas Will. Plenty of rain in Luzon. Most of the rainy season. Yes. Vegas Will. You are correct. That's why I mentioned it before. I would say half of the weather conditions that happen in the Philippines, your tropical depression, tropical cyclone, typhoon, storms, they happen in Luzon. Unfortunately, that's usually like the trajectory. A lot of it, like in the Bicol, central Luzon, and then northern Luzon just gets hammered every year. I bet it's hard to live there. But I do know some retirees there. I know there's even a vlogger there I know that lives in Ilocos Norte. But the Ilocanos is that area, northern Luzon. They're known to be tough. It's like farmers, tough farmers. That's what they're known for. Because if you can imagine being a farmer in those conditions, or even being a fisherman in those conditions, typhoons coming through, weather conditions passing through your province, that would be, you got to be tough. You got to be tough to survive that. JB Manalang. I bet baby is growing fast, Vegas Will. I bet. I mean, babies always grow fast that first couple of months. She's found her thing, getting some rest and sleep. All right. Wim M, Filipino art. Thank you, Wim M. Yes, Filipinos are beautiful people, very friendly, very hospitable. I mean, Filipinos, when you become friends with a Filipino, a local here, they go out of their way to good people. Just amazing people here. Like that's why a lot of foreigners, when they move to the Philippines, they're happy about their move, when they come to the Philippines, because there's not that, right now across the world, you got that division in politics. Here in the Philippines, I never really seen none of that happening. I mean, they might have it during election, but it's not even that, we just had elections here, midterm elections last May. Even the campaigns here, the local mayor, I mean, nothing, nothing like protests, nothing like that, and then once the elections are over, people are over it. I don't see the signs anymore. Everybody just, it's not a big deal. Politics here in the Philippines is not a big deal. It's like people are peaceful. People are like, I think here in the Philippines, the reason it's not a big deal, we don't make a big deal about politics. People here in the Philippines, they're just trying to put food on the table. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. So they're not focused on, they're not gonna waste time on division and all that politics, because man, it's hard to put on the food on the table here in the Philippines. Some hardworking people here in our province of Aklan. We're talking about farmers that are out there at the crack of sunrise to till like nighttime, farming out in the fields. Fishermen going out in the ocean like dark 30, to catch their fish and bring it in. So hard working people here in the Philippines. That's why, the last thing on your mind is be like worried about the politics that usually doesn't affect them anyway. Farmers and fishermen in our province, they live their lives, all the noise, all that stuff going, they don't really, are not affected by that. I miss those days when there's no school because of the storm. Yeah, Leanna had school. I had to drop her off this morning because I had the news earlier. I was watching the rain and all that. No school in the Philippines, and Leanna's looking. It's like, oh, she goes, they're lucky. They don't have school. I said, no, they're not lucky. They don't have school. I told her, you need school. You need to be in school. You need to be learning. Yes, JB, thank you. All right, Vegas Will. Good to hear. Good to hear, Vegas Will. I went to school around España too. All right, me. Letran College, man. All my elementary years, from kindergarten all the way to sixth grade. I graduated elementary school at Letran College. So I passed through the España, man. That was my route going to school coming from Quezon City, man. Dominican Catholic school. I remember walking through floods. I remember that, and how sometimes I would make it to school already to Letran, right? And they'll announce during the day that class is suspended. You guys can go home. Well, I gotta make it back to Quezon City on a jeepney, man, or a bus, or however I gotta go back. And in the Philippines, I think they start. My relatives, we would go to school in Manila till I was about the fourth grade together. But when I reached like fifth grade and sixth grade, I was 11 or 12. I was riding the jeepney by myself. I was a big boy already in my mind, anyways. So I had my backpack, my school bag, and then my uniform to Letran. I would ride I would ride the jeepney by myself. And then I had to make my way home. I had to make my way home. But, people were kind. I remember there was always, there were always like groups of us from Letran that lived in Quezon City. So we would always ride together or try to make it back to Quezon City all together. And then when the floods were really unpassable, or, it's not a possibility to make it home, we just stayed at Letran. They allowed us to stay in the school, I remember. Doug Henderson, all right. Speaking of storms, we had a bad monsoon storm last night. Lots of dust. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that in Arizona, how monsoon, when it hits Arizona, I remember flash floods. I remember flash floods was like big in Arizona, because you wouldn't think flood in the desert, but because when it rains, I remember when monsoon rains in Arizona, it's a big downpour. It's a lot of rain in like a short period of time. So the washes, that's the thing I was trying to remember. The washes in Tucson, Arizona anyway, they had these areas where they call it wash, like the washes, and it gets full with water. It prevents like Tucson from flooding everywhere, but the washes were like prevented that. But you had to be careful. Like I remember, there's always like accidents. Like I was big in hiking when I was in Arizona, and there was always accidents where people go hiking up Sabino Canyon or even a Mount Lemon, and then there's areas where flash flood would come, and it would take people with them, with that flash flood. So you have to be careful during that time of the year, the monsoon, because you don't know what's happening up in the mountains, like at Mount Lemon, and all of a sudden this big surge of water comes through while you're walking on the wash, or walking, hiking in Sabino Canyon. Team Melker, Philippines. Isn't America opening a couple of bases there in the Philippines or something like that? Could have. I know. Unfortunately, I mean, I would never say never. I'm always, I'm like, I'm hoping that something like that, but unfortunately, I don't think that's ever gonna happen. In the Philippines, they have a mutual defense agreement, the United States and the Philippines. The Philippines is allowing the United States military here in the Philippines 8 bases. As far as the last list I saw, somebody mentioned 9, but I haven't found the 9. the 9, but there's bases here in the Philippines, Filipino bases. These aren't American bases. The American bases here in the Philippines, unfortunately, they all closed. Like after Mount Pinatubo in 1991, they closed around 1992. So not a single U.S. base here in the Philippines. What's happening now is the Filipinos, there's bases here, around 8, that they're allowing the Americans to use. American troops assigned to those bases. And of course, when they go to bases or when they use bases, they have to be within standard of American standards, like dormitories or medical, even like a clinic or a hospital. So the Americans are putting in money on those bases. I know one base here in the Philippines, I read an article that the Americans had putting in like $60 million on that, fixing that base, mainly the runway, because if American planes, American jets, American cargo planes are landing in the airport here in the Philippines, it has the runway has to be American standard. I mean, we're talking 50 million, 100 million, sometimes a billion on these planes, and they can't have that rough road or that rough runway. It's got to be like perfect runway for American planes to land. So but many troops are here in the Philippines. They're here like as temporary duty. There is no permanent party in the military. Like me in the United States Air Force, there's either permanent party, you're assigned to that base, like in Japan or Korea. Here in the Philippines, as far as I know, the U.S. Air Force, no permanent party people assigned here, but a lot of temporary duty. Temporary duty is just like that. You're temporarily assigned to the Philippines. So deployments, temporary duty, they come here. It's called TDY in the Air Force. You can go TDY here. Clark, where the Clark Air Base used to be, because they are using that Clark International Airport. There are U.S. Fighter jets parked there. There's cargo planes. You go to Subic Naval Base in Longapo City, Subic Bay. There's like destroyers and aircraft carriers parking there, because they're here to protect the Philippines. So, but as far as a PX commissary, I just don't see that happening here in the Philippines anytime soon. But like I said, never say never. They might happen. You never know. Siege Meister, hello, Siege Meister. Thank you for joining the live stream. Daniel, howdy to all, and To all, a good chat. All right, all right. All right, Daniel, my good friend in Jacksonville, Florida. Fortune Ibiernes, good AM, happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday. Fortune Ibiernes. Hopefully you're not getting in the rain where you're at, Fortune. Yo, yo, Ginno. Hey, hey, my good friend Tim in Las Vegas, Nevada. Hello, hello, Tim. All right, my good friend Frederick in Iloilo City. Good morning, brother Gino and crew. Hey, Frederick, Dazzle and I will be in Iloilo City come Monday. We'll be there the 7th to the 10th. So we're going to be there for 4 days in Iloilo City. We're taking a friend of ours from here in New Washington, Aklan. We're going to take them to Iloilo City because they wanted to check out Iloilo City, and also my friend wanted to check medical facilities available in Iloilo City, because he's interested in staying here in the Philippines longer. Him and his wife, they kind of do like half the time in the Philippines, half the time in Las Vegas. To me, that's ideal. For people. If you can afford it. I mean, not all of us can afford like two homes, one home in the Philippines, one home in the United States. But that's the ideal situation, because you get the best of both worlds. When the weather is not that good in the US, maybe snow or cold or winter, you come to the Philippines. And I know many people do that. Kind of like in Arizona, the snowbirds. The snowbirds is what we call that in Tucson, Arizona. We used to get a lot of snowbird that lives in Canada and the northern part of the United States. They come to Arizona when it's too cold, when it's like winter in their area. They come to Arizona, and we call them snowbirds. Snowbirds. I leave Bacoor at around 6:30. All right, Bacoor. All right, Cavite. I usually arrive at 7:30. It's an hour drive to Ayala where I work, despite passing through the toll roads. Oh, okay. So it looks like you made it to work. It looks like, even though they have a suspension of school, it sounds like you made it to work today. Because I'm sure, even though the schools is not going on, I'm sure there's people that still has to go to work. Unfortunately, that's Shane, Tootie. All right, Tootie. Good morning, Gino and everyone. Thordy in the house. All right, I like your nickname. We should make a cup or a shirt about that, man. Thordy. I'll come up with something, man. When I make the cup for you, I'll have that Dazzle design something that says Thordy, like your nickname on it. We have Bising now up north. Yes, I'll mention that. It's a tropical depression Bising, bringing a lot of rain in Luzon, the northern part of the Philippines, and also class suspensions. A lot of no classes, no school for July 4th because of a tropical depression Bising. That's the second. And like I said before, that's the second. They're actually predicting for the month of July. They're predicting up to three weather conditions in the Philippines. So, but like I said, until December, usually the Philippines will get about 20 tropical depression, tropical cyclone, a typhoon, super typhoon, about 20 of them from now until December. Daniel, heard this that Filipino largest resource is overseas. Yes. It's always been like that, Daniel. It's like a lot of people here in the Philippines, even my classmates that I went to college with at STI College Calibo, a lot of kids that go to college in Calibo is kind of like where people in our province, that's most, I would say 90%, because the colleges, it's like our university belt. And a lot of the kids, when they go to school in Calibo, the goal is to work over abroad. It's like That's why for me, the two biggest here in Calibo anyway, not the entire Philippines, just here in our area in Aklan, the two jobs that I see a lot of kids in our province, it's either nursing or seamanship. You know, to become a seafarer, to work at commercial shipping lines all across the world. Those are the two that produces that our province is known to produce because they have a good chance of working overseas. Unfortunately, because most Filipinos, you know, even if you graduate college in the Philippines, the opportunities here to make money and make a good life is difficult. You know, it's like a lot of times you have to go overseas, you know, to make that money, earn your money overseas, save money, build your house, buy your land while you're working overseas, and then eventually come back to the Philippines when you have something built here. That's kind of like been how the Philippines is for the last 30, 40 years. That's how it's been. You know, it's like even for me, you know, like going to the United States was an opportunity to work in the United States, join the military, earn a pension, and then be able to come back to the Philippines and retire in the Philippines. That's kind of like the formula, the way it's been, and I don't think that's gonna change. You know, just because the opportunities in the Philippines is just not there. You know, it's like here in the Philippines, in order for you to get ahead, you have to know people. It's not just a matter of you're smart, you graduated from a good university. You know, it's like you know, somebody's got to help you get the good jobs here. Happy 4th for our US friends, though it's still the 3rd on your side of the globe. Yes, it's still the 3rd. For Dominican Catholic, it's like UST ran by. Oh yeah, I remember UST. That was one of the schools that I passed by that school every day in La España when I used to go to school at Letran. I'm all excited about F1. Ooh, IMAX, all right, it's on IMAX. Hey, that's good, man. Watch that, Frederick. You're gonna love that movie. Dazzle and I really enjoyed that F1. I wish I saw it on IMAX, but now it's okay. It's okay. We've seen it already. So, but it's a great movie. Great movie. Not to overhype, but it should be freaking. It is. I could imagine on IMAX. That's how spectacular that thing would, F1 would be. It was great at the movie theater in Boracay, man. It's like I could see that movie again on the theater. You know, that's how much I like that F1. Woohoo! All right, Frederick. All right. Tudi, I wish everyone a happy early Independence Day. Be safe, stay safe, don't drink and drive, and keep kid. Yes, that's definitely good message there, Shane. Good message. Stay safe out there for the 4th of July celebrations. Enjoy the fireworks. Yeah, that's what I remember in the U.S. was like picnicking, barbecue, and then fireworks at night. That's what I remembered my time in the United States. Everywhere I went, like it didn't matter when I was in Texas, California, Arizona, there was always events with fireworks. That was the highlight of 4th of July. Fortune, America is not opening bases literally under the EDCA, Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, but are allowed to set up stuff within Philippine camps and bases. Total 9 locations. All right, there it is, 9 locations from Fortune. But I do know they're investing. I do know that the American government is investing a lot of money in the bases. Like I said, when American troops, when they go to anywhere in the world, it doesn't matter if it's in Iraq or whatever, it's like when American troops go to a place, we put in money into those places. A lot of it, like Air Force, we put a lot of money on the runway, making sure the runway is like top notch, American standard runway. And then the dormitory for the troops, make sure the clinic, make sure there's a medical facility that we establish, supply, you make sure we got plenty of supply. So it's just natural, like for when the U.S. when they come to the bases here in the Philippines, they will invest money on those Philippine bases. But they are owned by the Philippines. The U.S. is basically just improving the infrastructure. That way, it can absorb like Americans living in those facilities. The whole PH is commissary. Edgar, hey Edgar, the cooking video turned out well. I watched it this morning. I'll probably upload it sometime today for the members. It'll just be for the members of our channel. Dazzle spent a lot of time editing the videos. I was like impressed. Like she's really a perfectionist. She did. It turned out well. She didn't do a thumbnail, and I'm not sure whether she wanted me to upload. So I'll wait till she wakes up, and then I'll upload the video. But it was really good. I mean, the lunch was awesome. I even ate it for dinner last night. It was like they cook chicken pochero, like ingredients. They laid out the ingredients. They cooked it right. It's like really turned out well. I was like, I think you will be happy about the video once you watch it. And thank you again for sponsoring that video. Thank you so much. That really helped us out. So now it's 7 months till I touch down. Whoa, that is going fast, man. I thought it was like 9 months. Now it's 7 months. All right, Daniel. All right, happy for it, everyone. JB Manalang, that's correct, Fortune. It's pretty much next door to UST. All right. I have my relatives in Manila when I was going to Letran. I know a couple of them attended University of Santo Tomas. Fortune, our Independence Day is really June 12, but there was a time we celebrate because U.S. granted us World War II. Yes. I'd mentioned that. Yes, we recognize June 12 as the real one. That's funny. That's good though. That's good that, it's like I said, July 4th here in the Philippines now, it's called the Philippines American Friendship Day is what the 4th of July, what it's called here in the Philippines. And it is celebrated. I know in the past I've seen events at Luneta Park in Manila, but I don't know with the inclement weather today. I don't know if they're gonna celebrate that in Luneta today. JP, hi Ginno, hi Thordy, JB. All right. Troops, Jim V. Troops spend dollars. Yeah, I mean, when American troops, when you go to the Philippines, of course, they're going to have liberty. They're going to have, it can't be all work. There's time, military people, you got to unwind. It's a military stressful job, hard work, it's like hard work. So they do know how to release the tension or, go out and enjoy what the locals have to offer. Dominicans own a lot of schools. Letran, where Ginno went, is also Dominican. Aquinas is also. All right. Yeah, very, very strict. That's all I remember about Letran. Yeah, when I went to elementary school there, we had the priest. We have the priest running the school. Very strict. I mean, it almost felt like the military. I think it prepared me to the military. It made me like discipline. Discipline was a big thing. This was back in the 70s when I went to elementary school in Manila. So it's not like today where they could hit us. I remember the teachers would have this stick. It was a skinny stick, but anything you do, they hit you in the hand. And you go, ow! It's like I remember that. And they would there was punishment. Like they would make us stand in the back of the room. They make us squat. Your punishment. They make you squat for 15 minutes, and of course, all your classmates are looking at you like, oh, you're in trouble. But I guess part of the discipline, back then. I don't. I'm not sure whether they still do that. I doubt it. I doubt that they do any kind of punishment now in school because now it's like a different era. My era of school to the era now is totally different. JP, all right. Happy and safe 4th of July, everyone. And God bless the US. God bless America. God bless America, for sure, Ray. I didn't know that, Fortune. Thanks for the info. All right. All right. Don't forget about the 20 F-16 fighter jets. I read that article. Daniel. The fighter jets, the United States approved it back in April. The sale of the 20 F-16, it's completed, but I don't think they've actually been delivered yet. The sale of the 20 F-16s, April of 2025. So that's only May, June, July, about three months ago, but it hasn't been delivered yet. I haven't seen any photos of it, and I'm sure once they deliver the F-16, I'm sure it's going to be a big event here. Where they're going to position them. But, there are many weapons here in the Philippines now. I know cruise missiles here in the Philippines that what happened was during Balikatan exercises this year and last year, the Americans brought missiles here and they kind of stayed. They kind of stayed here. So there's missiles here that American-made missiles that then can hit China, can hit mainland China. And also, the Philippines have bought missiles from India. Those have been delivered. First delivery was last year. Another set of missiles were delivered here. And the missiles that the Philippines bought from India can strike ships out in the West Philippine Sea. So if China wants to mess around, the Philippines is loading up as far as their own defense, investing in Philippine defense. Like you said, 20 F-16 fighter jets, and I'm sure Americans, they will train the Filipinos on flying the F-16. The support to it, all the required maintenance, and then the supplies for it. For big sale, that's a big sale. 20 F-16 fighter jets are not cheap. Are not cheap. That's not to be taken lightly. 20 F-16 fighter jets. I didn't see you there, Sergeant. Howdy. All right, GB. All right. Sergeant USA. JP, glad you found me. Try to keep alone. I try to keep alone. Hey, that's a good idea. That's smart. That's smart, Daniel. Here in the Philippines, I always recommend that to people. Especially when you first move here to the Philippines, keep a low profile. Don't make just try to learn. The first year in the Philippines should be like a learning experience. Should be blending in. You don't want to attract attention. Don't be one of those guys announcing on Facebook how much money they have and I want to buy a house. I want to build a house. Don't be one of those guys because that will attract attention to you. Don't flash money here. Don't do that. Please don't do that in the Philippines. That's how things can go sideways and wrong for you if you're flashing money here in the Philippines. Zuldir, planning on stopping by late August, early September, visiting Japan. Could you recommend a place to visit for a few days to a week? We are a couple, Philippine and US in our mid-40s. If you're just visiting here for a week, it just depends on what you're looking for. A week, a lot of people, when they come to the Philippines, they choose the beach. They want to spend the beach. And you're going here, let me see, August and September. That's the only thing. You're coming August and September. It's kind of rainy season. So, you're taking a chance if you do select like a beach. If you select a beach to go August of September for a week, it might happen where when you land, you go to the place and it be raining all the time. So that's the chance you take because you're coming in through the rainy season. Usually, it's better if you came in like January to May. Usually, January to May, there's no typhoon yet. There's no weather condition that can affect your vacation. Uh, if it's a beach, you can take a chance. It's easy to travel to Boracay. Boracay, if you land in Manila, that's where everybody lands. Boracay is one flight, direct flight to Katiklan, and then 15-minute you're in Boracay. There's other places, other beaches, like people always mention Palawan or Surigao, but those areas are harder to get to, because you have to get a domestic flight, and it's never a direct flight. Maybe you might get a direct flight from Manila to Puerto Princesa, but they don't have many flights going there direct. Usually, you'll have to travel Cebu. Boracay is just easiest if it's a beach that you're looking for. But since at the time you're coming in, I mean, a lot of people go to Tagaytay or Baguio because cooler weather up in the mountains. Those might be those might be the ones I would recommend. If I was only here for a week, that's what I would do. Don't spend it all in Manila. Manila to me is like it's just an extension of like a big city, like Los Angeles. Manila is just traffic, pollution, smog. It's not a good representation of the Philippines. Like I said, if it's a vacation, I'd rather spend it on a beach like Boracay would be perfect, or I'd rather spend it up in the mountains in Baguio City or Tagaytay, cooler temperatures. JP, I've been campaigning for giving kids presents for the 4th of July and fireworks. Fireworks for Christmas? Oh. Here in the Philippines, the 4th of July, I mean, they do, it's Philippines American Friendship Day. And even June 12th, I remember June 12th, that was the Philippine Independence Day. There wasn't really a lot of celebration. It's like, it's not as, like in the US, July 4th is like really patriotic. You see a lot of events, military events, even color guard. A lot more patriotic. Here in the Philippines, unfortunately, I haven't seen that. It's like unfortunately, it's like maybe I'm wrong. Just my opinion now. I could be wrong, but Filipinos just aren't that. As far as like being patriotic, supporting the military, supporting the troops. It's just not like in the U.S. I know in the U.S. It's like us military people, we're proud, and then people always thank us for our service, and you have a pride being in the military. Here in the Philippines, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that from the Philippine military. Fortune, the path of typhoon is northwest, so it starts in eastern Mindanao, hits Samar, Leyte, Bicol, Luzon, or hits western Visayas. Seldom it seldom hits us. That's why right now, there's tropical depression in Luzon. Here in western Visayas, it's sunny. I mean, you can see how kind of bright it is here. Yeah, I had to put the blinds. I had to like put the blinds because like I was blinded earlier with the sun here. So rarely does any of the typhoons and things like that. Usually we're like in the outer bands, so we do get rain, we do get a little bit of wind, but hardly we don't get what those northern Luzon, Bicol region, eastern Visayas like Leyte and Samar. Those places get hammered every year. JP, that's really kind of you. They did. Edgar, Mom and Dazzle had a great time. It's funny. I was laughing at the video because you could tell they're having fun. They're having fun making it, and they'll do more. They'll do more. I know they're gonna do more. It just took Dazzle a while. Like I said, she's a perfectionist, even on the videoing, editing. It's like she puts a lot of effort. She put a lot of effort on that video. I was happy, I'm impressed. I just don't spend that kind of time doing a video. Usually, like if it's a cooking video, I'll just cook the whole process and then edit it a little bit. I'm good. Dazzle, I mean, you can tell, like she edited it. Like, you can see the chopping of the vegetables, the frying of the meat. It's like, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it, Edgar. It only happens when the typhoon without a will cut across instead of expected northwest path. Actually, since Palawan is westernmost, they have few typhoons. Yes, same thing. Because like usually when they're after us in Western Visayas, it hits Palawan. It's like, so they don't. I don't see. I don't hear a lot of typhoons hitting Palawan either. But to me, Palawan, Palawan is beautiful. Don't get me wrong. Some of the best beaches, the granite, the rock formation in the ocean. I mean, they film like movies there, like spectacular. It's just hard to get to Palawan. It's not an easy place to get to. And the infrastructure is just not there. Like I know for me, as far as like my TRICARE medical insurance, of course, I'm getting older. It's important to me to be close to a medical facility. And they just don't have like the American Western standard, JCI compliant medical facilities in Palawan. So if you decide to retire in Palawan, if you get sick, chances are you got to fly to Cebu or you got to fly to Manila. It's not always easy. If you already have, if you have a heart attack, if you have a stroke, in order for you to get on a plane. So things to consider. I know many people are choosing Palawan because again, it's beautiful out there. I wouldn't, can't blame people for wanting to go to Palawan. It's just that it's so far out there. And then, Palawan, you're kind of close to like the edge of Mindanao there. And they've been known. I mean, it hasn't happened in years. I think 80s was the last time. But, the Abu Sayyaf goes to Palawan and kidnaps people. So, I'm not trying to bash Palawan now, but something to consider. Because I had a relative ask me about that. They're thinking of buying like a resort or, they got money. So they're looking at Palawan. And I just had to warn them. It's like, you're out there, if something happens in Palawan, you're not, easy, you don't have easy access to, like you would have if you lived in Cebu or if you live in Dumaguete or even here in Western Visayas, Balikbayan guy. Good morning, Ginno. Hey, John, good morning, John. Kumusta? Mabuti ako, John, mabuti. Happy 4th of July. How have you been, my brother? Been doing good. I mean, getting back to the normal routine. Yesterday afternoon, picked up Leanne at school, took her to school this morning. Again, pick her. That's kind of like my routine. It's like taking Leanne to school, picking her up, and then doing her homework. I'm kind of like her tutor. So getting back to the normal routine of life. We're doing good. Did you get your pandit? Not today. I did get my pandis. I actually made a video of it. That's gonna be coming soon. I did hit my malunggay cheese pandesal. Then on Bumblebee, I was riding Bumblebee, and then I stopped at 7-Eleven. So that's a video. I already filmed the video, edited it, uploaded it. So I always try to get ahead, like 4 or 5 videos. That way, I'm not pressured to come up with a video. That's why at midnight every night, you see our videos are coming out. So not hard for me to do, because I don't complicate the videos. I just like I said, I just film it real quick, edit it. It's good to go. That's another video. So it's like even Ray was like asking me. It's like I thought you guys were not left Boracay already. I still have like, I think 2 more videos left of Boracay. So you'll be watching like midnight tonight, a Boracay video, a couple of videos, like one about New Coast Beach, Boracay, and then White Beach. And I think that'll be the end of the Boracay videos. And then I'll start, the videos that I'm making now, the fishing video, the Pandesal video. So I'm ahead. I'm usually ahead like 4 or 5 videos. That's why to me, it's like, YouTube's not hard for me to do. If anything, somebody had asked me what's taking up a lot of my time is the phone calls, the actual phone calls, talking to somebody the one-on-one I do with a person when they're wanting to move here. Like I have one scheduled today at 10. This guy, he's from Arkansas, I think. He's in Manila now, and he's debating whether to go to Cebu City or Iloilo City. So I'm going to talk to him today, just kind of point out to him, all I'm doing is recommendation. It's like at the end of the day, it's the people that are coming. It's their decision. It's not mine. All I'm trying to point out the good, the bad, the ugly. It's like I'm just trying to point that out to them. And my friend that's come, he's in Manila now. It'll be up to him to choose where he goes. And I just like being part of the journey, trying to like minimize the mistakes that people make here. Hopefully, in some way I help out in that way. But those usually take up more of my time because like usually I end up talking with the person an hour and a half. So that does, the videos, I can just film it. I edit it in 30 minutes and it's good. It's another video, but it, I enjoy doing it. I enjoy helping people. That's why I do YouTube. Like I told the person, if YouTube starts becoming like a job for me, I will stop it, and it hasn't felt a job. I have turned down people, like people had asked me to do collaboration. I think the only collaboration like I've done is maybe with James and Karen's Adventure, but other vloggers have asked me and I turned them down just because to me it becomes kind of work. It's like collaboration to me. It's like I have to meet the person somewhere. We have to talk about what video we're going to produce. To me that feels like work, and for me the videos that I make, it doesn't feel like work because I'm just filming real quick, talk a little bit, and then it's a video. And I've also like I've turned down people like they contact me and they ask me, I want you to show our apartment, our rental property. That takes time too because like I have to meet with the person. They have to tell me what they want on the video. To me, that's why I stopped doing the rental videos because it doesn't come out natural. I rather find out about the rental and then show up and then film it because you know how it is when they're gonna clean it super nice. They're like pointing out, yeah, tell them this, tell them, to me it becomes work, and I would not do anything in YouTube if it feels like work. JP, where I live, they don't allow fireworks because of wildfires. Oh, that's good though. That's good, JP. Here in Aklan province, during New Year's is the big fireworks. They allow any fireworks here, man. During New Year's here, it's crazy. Some of the fireworks they have here, JP. Some of them scare me. Some of them, they have names like, they come up with names for the fireworks. And some of the names, even the name is scary, The best to visit is Boracay. Don't know if there's direct from Japan to Boracay. You may have to pass Manila, then Boracay. Yeah, most of the flights, you have to pass Manila. I think the only direct flights to Boracay, if you're coming to Korea. I know Korea has direct flights to Boracay, and Taiwan now. Taiwan has. So if you're flying, you might be able to do that. But most of the time, everybody lands in Manila, and then from there, it's a short domestic flight to Boracay. About an hour flight, direct flight to Aklan, then a 15-minute ferry, and you're in Boracay. Good morning, bro, Michael C, my good friend Trece. We are enjoying the live stream. Happy 4th, my brother. Michael Pico, all right, in the new cup, Michael is a proud owner of a Dazzle TV cup, so he's enjoying his Copico Blanca in one of our Dazzle TV mug. Good to see you. Good to see you, Michael. We had an amazing time with you and Rose in Boracay. Good memory. That's always going to be a good memory for Dazzle and I. You can also do Cebu. Cebu is food and a combination of beaches, tourist spots in the hills. Yep, Cebu's not. We've gone to Cebu a couple times. It's like JB Manalang, in Australia, there's no fireworks at all. Ooh, I didn't know that. It's completely banned. Can't have fun. Can't have fun here. That's My friend, like yesterday, Mark, I called him White Mark because there's a brown Mark, is his brother. White Mark, when he was here, every time they're here, they have they buy. It doesn't matter. It don't have to be New Year's. He just likes fireworks. He loves the rockets. He likes shooting big rockets here, and he always buys like 500 to 600 rockets, and they shoot it on the beach. I have a video of it. I was with Mark. We were like lighting rockets on Navitas Beach, Nothing, in the province here, pretty much in Aklan, I don't think there's any restriction of fireworks. You can buy fireworks here and, blow as much stuff as you want here in the province. Or you can do Bohol and do the beaches, churches, chocolate hills. Yes, plenty. Plenty to choose from. Plenty to choose from tourist destinations here in the Philippines. I'm not familiar with flights from Japan, but we get many Koreans because they have flights direct to Boracay, Cebu, and Bohol. Yes, many Koreans. I don't see as much Japanese. Like, I don't know where the Japanese people where they're going, but I don't see many of them on Boracay. It's mostly Koreans. Some little bit of Chinese left, but mostly Koreans. JP, I was one who drove the child to the hospital. Never seen somebody with injuries like that. Oh, yes. Unfortunately, Shane, it happens here every New Year's in the Philippines. A lot of kids get injured with fireworks here because it's not regulated here. Fireworks aren't regulated, and a lot of times the grown-ups will do the fireworks, and some of them gets left in the ground, and kids will pick it up and light it themselves. Terrible. Every year it happens. Like most in the cities here. Happy 4th of July, John. Balikbayan guy. All right, but same to you. If you only have a week in the Philippines, I would suggest a few days of Manila BGC, then a few days in Boracay. That's pretty much your week done. Yes. Let's pray for the best for the 16 million immigrants that will lose Medicaid because of the new. If you are under 65. 2D. It happens all the time after New Year's in the Philippines. People, it's unfortunate. It happens here in our province every year, everywhere in the Philippines because of all the fireworks. There's always, hands are always getting blown up, because people like to, that labintador, that triangle thing, and they come in small sizes, but they got like big sizes, big triangles, and they'll light it and they'll hold it and they'll flip it, and sometimes it blows people's hands, it's like, and then like I said, sometimes they'll throw it and it doesn't blow up and they just leave it on the ground and kids pick it up. Unfortunately, it happens every year. Ever since the 14 years I've been here, they always put out warning before the New Year's. They always put warnings, but always happens here. Emergency rooms are always full of people getting their hands blown off by fireworks. Homemade fire. Because I remember that even when we were kids, you would take all the powder out of those 5-star is what they call it, 5-star labintador and 5-star, and we would like make our own like a pipe. As kids you're crazy. You're doing that as kids. Unfortunately, we had access to it. As kids we had access to fireworks. Saw news where the F-16 had landed in the Philippine military base. There are planes landing all the time. I'll research it more, Daniel, but I have not seen a video. I have not seen a news report where they actually handed the Philippine government the planes, the F-16. Planes have always been landing here in the Philippines. We're not talking just the F-16. Even the current generation of fighter jets, they're landing in the Philippines. But as far as like a handing off of the F-16, maybe you can forward me the article. I would appreciate that, Daniel. I would love to get the article. If whatever you read, whatever video, forward it to me. That they actually had it delivered already. But I haven't. I went. I researched it. I googled it. I was like, I have not seen like. All I saw was they agreed on the purchase. April 2025, they agreed on the purchase, but the actual delivery to the Philippine government of the F-16s, I have not found an article on it. So maybe you saw a video of like, I mean, Americans and Filipinos always shaking hands. Military is always, balikatan exercises, that kind of thing. But I would love it if you could send it to me, Daniel. I just don't want to say that it got delivered and it wasn't done. I like to, I'm always like, with YouTube, man, I got to be careful. I can't be giving out bad info. Somebody's going to call me out if I say that the Philippines received 20 F-16s and I can't verify it. I have to be able to verify the story. It's like it's just the way it is at YouTube, man. I'm really particular about giving out false information. I want to make sure that I have backup. If I say that I have an article defending that statement. Let's pray they get a job like the rest of us will. Let's pray they get a job like the rest of us will. All right. JB Manalang, yeah, 2D. But fireworks is pretty cheap and you can get pretty crazy fire. Bulacan, Manila. Yeah, I know that area. I know that area in Bukawi. Bukawi, Bulacan is where they make a lot of these fireworks. I'm from Bulacan. That's why I know. My province is Bulacan. My grandmother and grandfather are buried in San Rafael, Bulacan. I visited their grave like 3 years ago. I have relatives in Bulacan. That's why I know Bulacan is known for making fireworks. Probably the number one seller of fireworks in the Philippines is Bulacan. I'll research Baguio and compare it to Tagaytay as the second stop after Bohol visits. All right, good deal. Good places, man. Can't go wrong with Bohol, Tagaytay, Baguio. You can't go. We've been through all three places, Can't go wrong with those places. You'll have a good time. Yes, because that's what people need to do and work until 65. Okay. All right. I wasn't getting that, Frederick, so I couldn't, JB in Wisconsin. In my town, there is a fireworks manufacturer and store and get some good fireworks there. Hope it don't have any. Yeah. It's like here, unfortunately, Shane, I have never gone through a New Year's here that didn't have an accident. I've actually seen people that get their hand blown with my own two eyes, just because carelessness. And then, they're not regulated. So, when you light up the fireworks, you just never know when the thing's going to blow up. Traveling, you got to take into account the traveling time. For example, Manila can take 6 hours on the bus. Yeah. Tanya G. I see you, Tanya. I see you. Tagaytay is about cold weather food, Taal Lake, volcano. You can try bulalo. Ooh, bulalo is delicious. You got to try bulalo. I've had bulalo in Tagaytay. Very good. I went to that market, like the meat market, vegetable market, where they make bulalo. Like best bulalo I've had, is in Tagaytay. Have many gardens and you can bread and breakfast. John, from Ilocos Sur. Can't wait to visit with my family. Yeah, Dazzle and I, we went to Ilocos Sur 3 years ago in our car, in our tiny Wigo. We took it all the way up to Ilocos Sur, Ilocos Norte, Pagudpod. We drove Baguio, Vegan. It's like on our little Toyota Wigo. We made it all the way up there. We took it on the ferry from Caticlan to Batangas, and we drove all the way north. That was fun. But like I said, man, that it's beautiful area. Ilocos Sur, Ilocos Norte is like amazing, beautiful, not crowded at all. It's like open spaces, sea. You see a lot of ocean, beachfront. But like I said, it's just a rough part of the Philippines when it comes to like typhoons. It seems like northern Luzon gets hit with a lot of typhoons starting from now until December. I would not surprise if they get hit with at least 10, during that time frame. Just a rough place to live, dealing with all that typhoon. That'll be a hard place to live. Baguio is colder as it is high up in the mountains. Variety cuisine, many tourist spots, Burn Park. Yeah, Dazzle. I've taken Dazzle up to Baguio twice. We like it. We drove. I drove up Baguio on our little Toyota Wigo. We made it up there. Dazzle was like, she was surprised we made it up. I told her the car will make it there. We use Marcos Highway. We didn't use the other one, the more dangerous climb. The Marcos Highway is an easier climb going up to Baguio City. Got it all. Fortune got it all covered. All right, JB. Oops, likely I was wrong about the F-16. It seems the video was staged based on future. All right, that's what I'm saying, Daniel. That's why I got to be careful, brother. It's like, that's why I had to verify your story when you send it to me, when you message me. I had to research it. And then as far as my research, it showed that the Philippines agreed on the purchase. American Philippines, they agreed April 2025. But the actual plane has not been delivered, as far as I know. I haven't seen any, pictures or anything. Usually, that's a big deal for the Philippines. 20 F-16s when it gets delivered. That will be big news here in the Philippines. For sure, for sure. Fortune, Mines View Park, Lourdes Grotto, Stone Kingdom, Brill Church. Yeah, plenty of attractions in Baguio City. The only thing I have to mention about Baguio City, we went there like March, so maybe this time of the year, less people. It was crowded when we went to Baguio City, March. Traffic. I finally had to not drive the car because we had our car. So I was thinking I'll drive everywhere in Baguio. It was just traffic and I couldn't find any parking. So we ended up keeping our car at the Airbnb where we were staying in Baguio and just trying to catch the jeepney. And even on the jeepney, you would get stuck in traffic. So it kind of limits you, to what you can accomplish in Baguio City in the few days that you're there because of the traffic. But that was March, might be different August to September, might be, March is summer and Baguio City is the summer capital of the Philippines. So everybody from Manila, from Luzon, everybody's in Baguio City during the summer. So very crowded, Session Road, Buram Park, everywhere we went, it was just a massive amount of people. In March, during summer. March, April, May is summer in the Philippines. So August and September might not be too bad. And then, another thing, just a thought, even Baguio City gets a lot of rain. So even if you go there August and September, it could get rain. So, and surprisingly, there's areas in Baguio, you would think they're up in the mountains, but I've seen flooded areas in Baguio during that time. And then you have to worry about road closure in Baguio when it's like rainy season because the landslides, they close the road. So, that might something to be considered. I don't want you vacation in Baguio and get stuck in Baguio and say, hey, Ginno told us to come to Baguio. It's like some of the things to consider because you're coming into the Philippines during rainy season. There's just things like that happen. And I've seen it happen to people that vacation during rainy season where they go to a place in the Philippines and it just rains the whole time or it floods or, that's why I always tell people, if you're going to vacation in the Philippines, better to do it during the summer months, January to May. Anytime you're dealing with July to December, anywhere in the Philippines, you can get a lot of rain, a lot of landslides, a lot of flooded roads. You get that in the Philippines. 1 week in the Philippines and you'll be already spending a few days in Bohol. Getting to Baguio by plane will be time consuming since there's no direct flight. I know, Tanya, that they do have an airport in Baguio, but I don't know the flights. And like you said, direct, very few flights. Yeah, it's not a big. I know in Baguio, the last time I saw the airport in Baguio, I think Lawakan Airport. I only saw those propeller type planes. They don't land jets. I've never seen a jet land in Baguio. It's just a propeller. So limited seats. You're like maybe 25 seats on those propeller planes, but not many flights. Not a daily flight. I know that they don't have daily flights. Driving to the guy from Manila will be time consuming too. Yeah, I know, right? I know, Tanya. It's like, I went to Tagaytay again because summer is when we went to Baguio. Summer is when Dazzle and I drove to Tagaytay. Traffic, expect traffic. Anytime your tourist destinations during summer, that's the only thing you'll have to deal with traffic. For my needs and desires, Panay seems to have everything I want to have, a great life and future. All right, Daniel. I was gonna talk about that a little bit. That was just in case I ran out of topic. I was gonna discuss Panay Island. I have notes for it. If I don't have time today, I'll do it on the next live stream. But I did come up with I wanted to, because people have been questioning me. JP, I know, Daniel, Brian, a lot of people are headed here to Panay Island, and I wanted to talk about Panay Island a little bit. Tagaytay, if you leave early, max 2 hours. Baguio buses can now do that and for leave at midnight. All right, JB. Tanya is correct. For me, if I had a week, I would keep it to 2 destinations. Otherwise, it gets too tiring cramming to. Yeah, that's the thing, JB. Like I said on the previous live stream, domestic travel here in the Philippines is difficult. That's a word for it. If you're here for a week and you're trying to hit different parts of the Philippines, different islands even, it could be challenging because you might, if you fly to Cebu, you can end up getting stuck at the airport in Cebu for the whole day, and it kills one of your day in the Philippines. So something to consider if you're only here on a limited time. From Naiya, it needs to be Manila at least a day before departure. 79 here in Arkansas. Beautiful weather tomorrow for the. That's great to hear. Great to hear. RG. All right, so right here, I got more in the bottom, but I'll go ahead and start talking about Panay, because I did make some notes regarding Aklan province. All right, Aklan province. Aklan province is one of the provinces here in Panay Island in Western Visayas. Panay Island is composed of our province, Aklan province, Capiz province, which has Rojas City. That's what Capiz province is popular for, is Rojas City, where the Canadian Beaver is. We're only 2 hours away from the Canadian Beaver, from our house here. And then Antique province, less people in Antique province, but beautiful. If you're looking for a province that has not many people, more land area, more space, Antique is known for being where the ocean meets the mountains. That's kind of like there. A lot of mountainous area with a view of the ocean. Amazing drive through Antique province. And then Iloilo province is the 4 provinces that make up Panay Island. And of course, Iloilo, they're known for Iloilo City. To me, I consider it the best city in the Philippines. To me, it has everything. Medical care, top-notch medical care. That's where I had my treatments for cancer. Modern. The city is well-planned, not congested like Cebu City or Manila. Very up and coming. I mean, the international airport in Iloilo City, direct flights to Taiwan, direct flights to Singapore, direct flights to Thailand. Just a lot of direct flights now adding to Iloilo City, and so is domestic. You can fly domestic direct to Iloilo City from Manila, from Cebu, from Dumaguete, from Bicol. I think it's going to be the hub. Next to Cebu City, Iloilo City will be the next hub in the Visayas region. No doubt, no doubt, because the mayor is just outstanding. They have an amazing mayor in Iloilo City. And I'm going to talk now about Aklan province because a lot of interest in our province. Here in Aklan province, we have 17 municipalities. Municipalities are towns, basically. We do not have a city here in Aklan. So if you come here to Aklan province, because I show a lot of videos of Boracay, I show a lot of videos of Calibo, or Numancia, our area, we do not have a city here. So that's, if you're a city person, if you're looking for that Robinson's Mall, that SM Mall, Mega Mall, those things, we do not have that. We don't even have a theater here in Calibo. In the mainland Aklan, we don't even have a movie theater. The only movie theater in Aklan province is in Boracay Island, and tiny. There's like 2 theaters there, really tiny. It's not, so if you're like more a city person, Aklan province probably won't work for you. That's why when it's a city you're looking for, if you're looking for condominiums, I have not seen a condominium here in Aklan province, in mainland. The only condominiums that I've seen here in our province is in Boracay Island, over at the New Coast Boracay. That's the only condominiums here. Here in mainland Aklan, in Calibo, here in Numancia, our area, it's mostly apartments. And then the apartments, they're not like a majority of them won't have hot water. You would have to install one of those units in the bathroom, which you can get it at, I know I saw it at Wilcon Depot. You can spend $200 to $250. There's portable units that you can have it installed in your bathroom so you can have hot water, because I know there's a concern for people coming in, foreigners coming in. They like their hot water. I'm not mad at you, it's like, but that's one thing you won't have if you come here to Aklan province. If you're asking me to find you an apartment, chances are, if you're looking for like the whole house having hot water, somebody had asked me that, like, what do you mean that the showers got hot water? How about the faucets? How about the sinks? Washing dishes. You won't have hot water washing dishes. It's like, it's just not one thing that they do. I mean, it's possible that you could probably do it, but it'll cost you more money. A typical Filipino home, typical Philippine, like our house here in our gated community, we do not have hot water. I know that's a concern. I know that's a concern for a lot of people. And then in Calibo is like, we're only about 3 miles. Our house here is only 3 miles to Calibo. We're kind of like Numancia, where we live, is like the suburbs. We're like the suburbs here. Calibo would be the main town. Again, Calibo's not a city. As of 2023, Calibo had 89,000 people living in Calibo, surrounding Calibo area. Calibo is still, if you go to Calibo, you'll have the Gran Gaisano Mall. You have the city portion, like Pastrana Park, the church. There's now a Asia Pacific Medical Center, which is a blessing for people in Calibo and for me. A nice 8-story brand new medical center that they opened with an emergency room with ambulances. So that's a blessing for us here. But the outside portion of Calibo, it's still rice fields. And that's what I was going to point out. Here in Aklan province, it is still, the minute you go outside Calibo, the minute you start driving on the highway, it's nothing but rice fields here. Nothing but farms, nothing but rice fields. The population, the entire Aklan province, all 17 municipalities, the population is only about 600,000 people as of 2025, as of last year, this year is the 2025. Our town of Numancia, where we live, this gated community, we only have, as of 2023, we only have 35,000 people. That's why it has that provincial feel, it's not crowded. It's like there's no traffic. I've never been in traffic here in Numancia. Maybe sometimes in Calibo during rush hour, like 7 to 8 in the morning, and then 4 to 5, because all the people leaving school, all the people leaving work, a lot of tricycles. You might see traffic, but if you, besides the rush hour, I can go to Calibo. No traffic, no traffic in Calibo. As far as the Aklan province, our province of Aklan, we have 96 miles of coastline. So a good portion of our province is coastline, ocean, beaches, lots of beaches here. That's why the main industries, besides tourism, of course, tourism because of Boracay Island. Boracay Island is part of Aklan province. So makes a lot of money for our entire province. Our entire province rely on Boracay for a lot of income. If you can imagine, a lot of the seafood, a lot of the good seafood like lobster, prawns, the good fish that they catch, it always ends up in Boracay because they can get more money for it. The local fishermen here in Aklan, the businesses in Boracay Island, they pay well for the seafood. That's why they can make more money. Like I said, the coastline, you got like 96 miles of coastline here. So if you can imagine that, there's a lot of fish, a lot of seafood. New Washington, Aklan, it's like known here for being the seafood capital of Aklan. Lots of oysters. I mean, you can get oysters here for 50 cents a kilo, like 30 pesos, 50 cents a kilo, fresh oysters. Crack them on the shell, eat them. It's like so much, you'll get tired of oysters in New Washington. So that's, because Boracay provides the tourism, that's a big part. A lot of work, a lot of people that live in Aklan province end up working in Boracay Island at the hotels, restaurants. But besides tourism, the main industry in Aklan is still farming, a lot of rice fields here in Aklan province, and then fishing, a lot of seafood, commercial fishing, farming even, like the fish farm, like where Dazzle and Mom went fishing the other day, a lot of fish ponds. I mean, so it's still, that's why Aklan province and even Capiz, where Rojas City is the seafood capital of the Philippines. The two neighboring provinces, it's rural. It's like, that's why when I drive, it's like when I drive here in Aklan, when I drive to Capiz, when I drive to Iloilo and Antique, it's all like rural. And cement highways, nice roads, but both sides of the highway, nothing but rice fields. So if you're looking for that, if you're looking for open space, more provincial, I think you will love Panay Island and you will love Aklan province. But if you're looking for city, that's not here. The whole Panay Island, I would, the only modern city in the entire 4 provinces is Iloilo City. I don't even consider Rojas City as a modern city in the Philippines, because I've been to Rojas City. I visit the Canadian Beaver often. I take people there. But Rojas City is like an older city. They are building more condominiums, trying to modernize the city. But the minute you drive around Rojas City, you'll notice that it's not Iloilo City. It's like an older city. A lot of buildings are run down. A lot of rundown buildings. Iloilo City is just the more modern city. And then here, I wanted to mention this because I get questions a lot about here in our province of Aklan. I get questioned a lot. Are there any waterfalls? That's always people always ask me about waterfalls. And there are several waterfalls here in Aklan province, in our province of Aklan alone. This is just Aklan province. I'm not looking at the falls in Iloilo, in the other areas of Panay Island. But here in our province, we have 4 waterfalls here that are very popular. One is Nasoraan Falls. Another one is Agnaga Falls, and Mangayaw Falls is another one, and Snibaa Falls. So four good-sized waterfalls here, and that's not even counting like the small waterfalls like Hawili Falls in Tangalan. So these are just like four of the bigger waterfalls here in and then there's always, people are always finding stuff, like fresh water, and then waterfalls that not mentioned. You're always finding those new stuff, but there are many waterfalls that you can visit here in Aklan province. I think I covered just about everything that I just wanted to mention that because people ask me, oh, the beaches. That's another question that I get. One thing in Aklan province, it's the same in Rojas City, same anywhere, pretty much anywhere in the Philippines. As far as beaches, if you're looking for white sand beaches, clear turquoise waters, that would be in places like Boracay Island. Most of the time, it would be an island, because if the beach is near a city, like Rojas City, Bye Beach, perfect example. Same thing in Dumaguete City, there's a beach. Unfortunately, the more people there are, the beaches won't be clean. Unfortunately, if you go to those beaches, there's gonna be stuff on the beach floating. It's not gonna be your cleanest beach, because a lot of the sewage from the cities or populated people, where people are living, it goes out in the ocean. I have not seen like a water treatment where they treat sewage or anything like that in the Philippines. Same thing with rivers, even here in Aklan province. When there's there's a lot of people, like a subdivision, like a congestion of people living, it flows in the river. So the rivers aren't going to be the cleanest. But there are many places, like in Aklan province, same thing with the other provinces, where it will be like crystal clear, white, fresh water, because it's away from where people live. That's just how it is. Same thing with the beaches, like here in mainland Aklan. I think the best beaches in mainland Aklan, I would probably say, would be in Buruanga. It's kind of like on the island northwest, the tip, Buruanga Aklan. It's got some of the best white sand beaches in mainland Aklan. And Nabas, because Nabas Aklan is facing Boracay. There's a few beaches there, white beaches that are clean. But again, it's the same if you go to beaches like in Luzon, if you go to beaches in Batangas, anywhere you go, the minute you have a high concentration of people, those beaches are not going to be clean. It's like people swim in it. They can still swim in it. But me, in particular, I like my beach like clean. I like my beach like when I go to the beach. I like going to white sand, turquoise waters. It's like, and I have to be careful because another thing about beaches here. In the U.S., because I lived in Long Beach, California. I surfed a little bit when I was in high school. In the U.S., they test the water on the beach. They test the water whether bacteria or whatever. It has a pass or fail where they declare the beach safe to swim in or not. I have not seen that here in the Philippines. There's nothing like that here. So you kind of like when you go to the beach here, you kind of like you're playing. How do I word this? You swim at your own, you can't blame anybody. If you get sick, and a lot of people do, it's like, I know stomach problems and stuff like that. Start thinking about that when you swim in the beaches in the Philippines, just because of that, because they don't test the waters here when you go swim in the ocean. So if you catch a bacteria or a bug from the ocean, it's that gets your like a stomach ache or it could be it. Maybe consider not swimming in it. Maybe like I said, go to an island. Take a boat, go to an island. Less people living on the island, and you can swim in the ocean there, snorkeling and all that. Do that. I think I covered everything I wanted to point out. because that's a common thing that happens to people when, when they come here, they're on vacation 3 weeks, 2 3 weeks. A lot of people get sick. A lot of, it's like it's common to have like stomach problems. Those are some of the things that you have to consider. I know you get there, you're excited, it's the beach, the weather, but something to consider, just to be safe, and always bring like Imodium, or like the Pepto-Bismol. Bring the medicine that you're used to. They have medicine here, like if you go to Watson, like they have the same medicine over the counter that you get, but you might not be used to like the prescription, or how strong the medicines are here. It's better if you bring your own medication that you take in the US that you're used to already. All right. So now I can go through the comments here. Now I'll go through the comments again. I just wanted to add that because I get asked a lot, and I know people are coming here to Panay Island. I know people are coming to Calibo, to Boracay. I just want to make sure that you got all the information. I'll give you all the information about it. That way you can make the right decision for you. And that's all I do, really. Like the people I talk to one-on-one, when I try to guide them here, all I do is I'm giving the information. Like I said, the good, the bad, the ugly. I just tell it, and then it's still the person that decides whether to come or not. Light fart turn, run, crossing your finger, help keep attached to your body. 2D Shane. I like playing Lucis. Yeah, Lucis. Dazzle likes that. And Leanna, the Lucis. You sparklers, like sparklers. You light it and it just sparklers. Watusi and watch the for New Year. Yeah. Yeah, the Labintador, the 5-star. Yeah, it gets loud. Those are loud, Tanya. Those are loud. When I lived in Minnesota, there was a ban on fireworks. And if a child was caught with even sparklers, wow. Well, I can't blame them, Shane, because, the accidents that happen, I can't blame them for being so strict. I know in the US, that's the thing. US, when I was there, everything is about safety. Safety was really big. About anything safety. We had like, in the military, we had so many safety briefings, safety this, safety that. Here in the Philippines, unfortunately, they don't do a lot of safety stuff, man. You see some of the craziest things here in the Philippines as far as safety. I think safety is not pushed. They don't push safety here. I think only us are allowed to do fireworks, and everyone just watches. I've never seen anyone playing with firecrackers here. It's probably more safe, Tanya. We're probably more safe to do it that way. I didn't end up fireworks cars as a teenager. I know, JB. Same here. Before I left the Philippines, I was 12 when I left the Philippines, and I had many runs with fireworks. It's like, but I never had any accident. I guess I was careful enough, and my older cousins always kind of protected us. Bottle rockets were made to shoot at your friends. And when you're a teenager, I never tried that, Edgar. I never shot it to my friends. JP, yeah, same. We all played with firecracker called lady fingers and would dare each other to hold it until it. Ooh, man. I think that's what happens. That's what happens, Shane, with kids here. Is they like, it's called Labintador here. Labintador is like a triangle with like a fuse on top, and you light the fuse. And they have one, it's a bigger Labintador called 5-star that blows up even stronger. So kids will do that. They'll light it and they'll watch it go down, and then when it gets close, they throw it in the air. Unfortunately, some of them blow up too fast before they can throw it. Balls of fire, flat wire shooting. That one, I know what you're talking about. Here, Shane, they call it Roman candle. Roman candle. It's like, it's a stick, and you light it, and it shoots. And but we never aimed it on each other, man. That'd be dangerous, man. That'd be dangerous. We never aimed it. We always, shoot it up in the air. I remember that. Roman candles were the best. Yeah, that's it. That's like Roman candles. Roman Cap and Run. Captain Ron. That was the name of them. Yep. That was the name. I remember Roman Cat because and they came in different colors. They would shoot red. They would shoot green. They would shoot. I don't know how they did that, but they used. I remember they used to shoot like different colors. You are going to give me flashbacks. You're giving me flashbacks. Edgar, I remember bottle rockets wars as a teenager with neighbors across the street. Dangerous but fun. Yeah, and I mean, I think we just, like here in the Philippines, growing up in the 70s, we didn't even consider it dangerous. It was just play. But I'm sure now, I'm sure they don't do the same because now people are more careful, uh, uh, back in the 70s, it was just a different generation, even riding bicycles, we would create stunts, skateboards, we would like dare each other to do crazy stunts. The 10 shot, what's the 10 shot, the 10 shot. I remember all those fireworks and the Roman candle. I remember that. We had a play rifle that we would shoot bottle rockets out one bottle in a tailpipe of the neighbor's car. We ran, thought the car was going to blow up. You ran, yeah. We did bottle rocket wars with Roman candles used in the final charge. Man, those were good times. Yeah, it was. It's like I'm glad I grew up in the 70s because I enjoyed my youth. It's like we were daredevils when we were youth. With skateboards, with bicycles, fireworks. Not the same now. Of course now. It's about kids now. You gotta protect them. You gotta like. Back then, we didn't have no helmets wearing with our bicycles. It's like if we fall, we fall. It's like, but now, of course, I understand. They're more careful now. It's like safer for the kids now. We used poster tubes and made them look like a bazooka, and loaded with bottle rocket. Never pointed the gun. That's funny, Shane. That's funny. I remember my parents saying, "Don't ever smoke cigarettes." But when the fourth was here, they give us the light. Yeah, I know. Yeah. They do the same thing here. They do the same thing here during the New Year's. You see different ways to light up the fireworks. Goody. One of my favorite things about what you shown us Aklan province has been the low traffic and good concrete roads. Yes, that you will see here, JP. I know when you land here in Calibo, the minute we're outside Calibo, the minute you cross the bridge, no traffic. It's like Numancia, Makato, Tangala, all the way to Boracay. You'll not see any traffic. Rice fields, both sides, mountain, ocean view. It's like it's perfect for guys that ride motorcycles. It's like Panay Island. I think that's why you see vloggers like James and Karen Adventures. You see that Philippines Life. They're riding motorbikes because it's like you can go anywhere. I mean, you see it on their videos. They go everywhere here in Panay Island on motorbikes. Me, it's like I enjoy Bumblebee, like even just running around in our town here, or to Calibo, or to the fish farm. I'll ride Bumblebee, man. I like I'm just not real proficient at the solo motorbike, the single bike. That's why I had the sidecar. I'm just not. I never rode motorcycles my entire life till I got here. When I retired here, when we got Bumblebee, that's my first motorcycle. So I'm not as like a. I'm nervous when I'm on the single motorbike. So I'll stick with the sidecar. It's just safer for me. Yeah, know what we tried. I only need hot water to shave with due to my thick, heavy beard, and I can heat up water on the stove to shave. Yeah. That's the thing. I always get questioned because that's always a big thing. It's like having the hot water seems to be a big thing. But me, I've never had hot water. I had hot water in the U.S. Most my military career, but ever since I moved here, 2011. I never had hot water at any of my apartments. Our house, we don't have hot water in our house. That's how Filipinos do it. They just heat up water in the stove. You'll have no problem. Settling in. Yeah, yeah. You'll fit in. You'll fit in, man. JB. One time, us kids dared each other to nibble on dog biscuits. We all started. We would turn into dogs. That's funny. That's funny. I don't think I had a dog. We didn't have that here in the Philippines. And growing up as a kid, I never even had heard of dog food. I thought dogs just eat what people food. I never had heard of dog food till I went to the United States. Growing up in the Philippines in the 70s. I've never heard of dog food. Dog food in a can, kibbles. We never had that here in the Philippines. Our dogs ate what we ate, leftover. They ate rice. Our dogs ate rice. That's crazy because in Florida, you can pay $2 for each oyster. Woo, man, that's expensive. Man, and the oysters here in New Washington, you'll see it, man. They're good size. I mean, it's just a lot of meat on them. And you can buy them like per kilo. So that's about more than 2 pounds for 50 cents. Fresh, fresh. You can just like open it, put like calamansi. Calamansi is like the Filipino lemon and just eat it like that. My friend Ruben, that's how he eats his oysters. He likes it. He doesn't like it steamed. Doesn't like it cooked. He just likes it fresh. He'll open it, put calamansi, and he'll eat it like that. Everyone on the bus, I'm on, just turned and looked me and said, I laughed out, laughed out loud, laughed out loud. I gotta go faster now on the comments here. Make sure I hit there. I'm on the tour bus. Oops. All right. Is there environmental tea at the waterfall? JB, at the waterfalls, very minimal charge. Like I know at the Hawili Falls, the last time I checked, I think they charged 20 pesos. Like 30 US cents is how much entrance fee, but no environmental fee, just the entrance to the waterfalls. And a lot of those waterfalls that are remote, where you have to like hike through the jungle, I know they don't have any fees at all of those. You might have to find a guide, pay the guide to take you there because you don't want to get lost. That's one thing. Advice: if you're going to like these remote waterfalls here in Aklan province, please get a guide, a local. Get a local. I know James and Karen, when they went to Kipot Falls, they took a little kid, took them. Hire somebody to guide you there. Then don't just go wandering off in the jungle and figure, oh, we'll find the falls. Don't do that. Don't do that. There's plenty of locals that will be happy to like guide you to where the waterfalls is. That way you don't get lost. Man. I want to try fishing the rivers plenty of rivers, JP, that you will see fresh, clear water. Again, the minute you go to the rivers that don't have people around it, very clean rivers, very clean rivers. It's just when the river is near people, it gets ruined by people, unfortunately. Crystal clear. Yes, Captain Ron is correct. You just got, like I said, move away from people and you'll find like nice rivers where you can fish, I'm sure. Announce, please, no interrupting while I'm the tour. I'll behave. Great information. You have found your calling, Ginno. Thank you, Frederick. A Costco package pings up when I come there. Just in case. Think it was on your video. I saw a guy on a scooter with his entire house of bamboo on his trike. I was very impressed and shocked. There are still things here, Daniel, that I see that sometimes I'm like, ooh, how did I just see that? That happens all the time. It's still now. I've been here 14 years, and I'm like amazed sometimes. It's like you said, I have seen the tricycles, the amazing things that they carry on tricycles here. Long 25-foot bamboo poles. It's like, and stacks of them, like. The front of it like extending in front of the tricycle, and the back of it, it's like, and they're maneuvering in the tricycle with all that bamboo stacked inside the tricycle. It's like, it's amazing sometimes what you see here. Hey everyone, Matthew. Oh, all right, Matthew. All right, Duty. My friend in Lapu-Lapu. I haven't been to Lapu-Lapu. I've been to Cebu City, but I might have passed Lapu-Lapu, but I didn't stop. I didn't stop when I was. Potato again. Happy 4th, Lucita. Happy 4th, everyone. Stay safe for sure. Stay safe. Barbecue with hot pepper. Ooh, nice, Duty. New Washington, man. You will be amazed of New Washington Aklan oysters. Famous here in the Philippines. They export. They take the New Washington oysters here all over the Philippines. Come on, Ginno, let's be real. Dog food in the PI is a dog that is food. Joke lang, yeah. All right, I got to the bottom. All right, Lucita, happy Independence Day, everyone. Have a safe Independence Day. Are you feeling better, Filipino? Yep, I'm feeling good. Okay. All right, no worries there, Morgan. All right, I got to the bottom here. Let me see here my notes. Make sure. Oh, and the last thing I wanted to add, like as far as rent, like here in Calibo, here in Numancia, even our subdivision here, not hard at all to find rent here in the 10,000 peso range, about $200 a month. I think that's why a lot of people, when I tell them that surprises them that they can get. You can get a 1-bedroom apartment, sometimes 2 bedrooms, sometimes a house at that price. It just depends. Like I said, it's not gonna have hot water. But you can get one like that and make it custom to you. Some of them won't have air conditioning, but it's not hard to buy like a window type air conditioning unit. Put it in the wall. Usually they'll have a spot on the wall, a hole to put it, or they can put a hole in the wall, on the cement wall, or put it in the window. Usually, if you have like a 0.5 horsepower, a window type AC, that usually is all you need. You won't find like central air that doesn't. I have not seen that here. I mean, there's people that do it, that they air condition their whole house. Like my friend Brian, because that was one of the things he had to have. But usually you just air condition where you would sleep at night is the main thing. All right, more. Okay, all right. All right, John. Thank you so much. Yes, I speak Tagalog. I don't speak Bisaya. A little bit of Aklanon. I've been living in Aklan now for 14 years, so I understand Aklanon. Yeah, all right. Thank you, JP. Thank you. Have a safe holiday, everyone. See you soon. All right. God bless, everyone. Thank you. Bye, everyone. First of all, before the Fs are delivered, the pilots have to be trained because it's high tech and sophisticated. Plus the air. Yes, good addition there, Ray. You know about the Air Force. That's what I'm saying. I know April 2025 they approved the sale, but it's going to take time. It's going to take time for delivery because the aircraft maintainers have to be trained, and so is the pilots. See you next time. All right, Captain Hug. Roman candles 20. All right, Ron. All right, HD. All right. Take care, everyone. Have a good day and stay blessed, everyone.